Hey friends, what's going on? It's Brett and Lori and Gwen. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey guys. Hey Brett. Hey Lowell. How are you?
Hey, good.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
Another episode of our vlog, our winter and early spring vlog, which as of the recording of these episodes still doesn't have a name. By the time you're watching this, we may have named it, so check the title. And if it says a vlog with no name, we haven't named it yet. But anyway.
Or we've been picked up by Discovery and you can find us on there.
Yeah, that's our syndicated came through finally.
That might be our name. Discover us.
One of the things that we talked about in the a couple of episodes ago were some of the events that we're planning on doing with you guys when you come to visit us in spring and summer. One of which was Oysters with the Owners, and we realized last time when we were talking about Oysters with the Owners that we didn't have any oysters. So we got some oysters. So I'm gonna be like the first Oysters with the Owners guy. Is that cool? Can I have oysters with you guys?
Oh yeah, sure.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And while we're having our oysters, we're going to talk about one of the slogans that we have here at the brewery: craft beers with a story. Each of our beers that we pour here has some sort of story behind it. And if you've spent any time with us, I'm sure you've heard at least one of them and probably more. So we've got our Booth Bay 633 Pale Ale that we're having today, and our Tuna Time Summer Wheat. So we're going to talk a little bit about these beers while we have these oysters. Where'd the oysters come from?
So I picked these up at Pinkham's, but they are Norm Vegas, and they're nice cocktail-sized oysters. This will be representative of what we'll be serving during Owners with the Oysters, Oysters with Owners, whatever it is.
Same.
And yeah, so with kind of a good representation. They were fresh as daisies, and we're excited to give them a whole world.
And so how do you guys see Oysters with the Owners kind of playing out? Like act like I'm these guys.
So basically, I think the tough part about Oysters with our tavern kitchen is that that's full enough and busy enough as it is with pizzas and burgers and all the stuff that comes out, wings, smoked wings out of there. So this year, Lori and I are going to man our outdoor oyster bar in the beer garden, and I will be shucking and prepping them, and Lori will be doing the sauces and putting them on the plate and bringing them to you, and we'll be chatting with everybody that gets oysters, and we'll just have fun hanging with everybody.
Just a Q&A.
Yeah. You'll get to meet us, we get to meet you, and we'll have fun talking about oysters. We love oysters, and if anybody's ordering them, I'm sure they do too. So it'll be great.
And it's, if you didn't get a chance to see in the last episode when we were talking about this region is, as Wynn said, this is like the Napa Valley of oysters. So if you're a fan of oysters at any level, whether they're cooked oysters like Rockefeller or Oyster Stew, or just on the half shell, this is the coolest region in the area to get them. One of the things that over the past couple of years since we've had various oysters served here, just the nuance and flavor between oysters that are grown, like say in this river, and then a couple of miles up in another river, completely different oyster, different flavors, and finding those subtleties is one of the most fun things about enjoying them.
It's a lot like beer tasting.
It's not unlike beer tasting at all.
And of course, the two go really well together.
Allow me to demonstrate. I can't wait anymore.
I think I'll demonstrate with you.
Please do.
Lori, why don't you talk to us about what you're thinking about for some of your specialties?
Your mignonettes,
Yeah. So
I'm gonna do a cocktail sauce.
that's the horseradish cocktail sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your classic.
I'm going
in
straight
case you want
no
the sauce.
chaser.
Going naked,
Yeah.
huh?
Going naked. How are they? Good?
Pretty good.
Yeah. So I've got a mignonette here, your classic mignonette, but I'm going to do a mignonette granada. And basically, it's just your mignonette sauce and not a sauce at all. It's actually a vinaigrette, and you place it in the freezer, and it gets frozen. You scrape it. You put some of that ice right on the top when you serve it.
So it's like a little mignonette snow cone that you
Yes,
kind of plop on top.
exactly.
Sounds cool.
And so
Exactly.
shallots and stuff like that in it? Is
Correct.
that
Red wine
red wine vinegar, shallots.
Shallots and some other, fun little things I'm
Yeah.
going to place on there. Edible flour,
Yeah.
of course. Got to have.
I love that
signature.
type of sauce with oysters only, or toppings with oysters, because it's delicate. It lets the oyster
Yeah.
shine through.
Yeah.
So, cocktail sauce is also great, but it tends to be that overpowers them sometimes.
Right.
One of the, at least
Right.
in my experience and the way I like, it's just like a couple of drops of whatever sauce I'm having, even if it's just a little bit of a squirt of lemon, because I like tasting the oyster and letting all of that brininess come through. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you know what happens when you have an oyster and then follow it up with 633? You get, I get more malt. Like this is a hoppy beer, but when you instantly go from that to this beer, you will get a little bit more of the malt out of it. grain malt out of it. I do.
What a great beer. This is,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm telling tales out of school. Like I said, if you've been here, you know this is my favorite beer of all the ones we make. Pardon me. And it's because of the balance. I mean, there's like Wynn said, and when I talk about it on the tour, if you just shift your mental perception a little bit while you're sipping this beer, you can either choose to taste all of the hops that are in it or all of the malt that's in it. Like I get a nice, if you're thinking about the malt, you get a nice little graham cracker finish in this beer.
So this beer, speaking about craft beers with a story, this was our first beer we brewed. I call it our flagship beer. It isn't the beer that we make the most of individually by style, but we're the proudest of it, I guess. It's our baby. It's the first one we did. It originally was named just 633, and it named itself in my garage when I was brewing this beer. When I finally got the recipe where I wanted it, I took the gravity and I measured it out, and it came to 6.33 alcohol by volume, and that happens to be booth-based telephone exchange. So I kind of went with that. Over the years, as we picked up distributorship and we started to move this beer outside of Booth Bay, and it becomes more of a state of Maine beer instead of just a Booth Bay beer, although that's where its roots is, we decided to kind of enunciate the Booth Bay Pale Ale end of it a little bit greater and kept 633 on the label. But it is our pale ale. That's the pale ale we make, and we love it. You may see by the time this comes out, this is what our original label, which tells its story and just what I said, and has a picture of one of our kind of our core people that we had when I was growing up. Was a fisherman, Charlie Begin. He was just the guy. You know, everybody could turn to him. He would do everything for you, and just a genuine guy. So kind of honored him on this label, but we are looking to kind of freshen this label up, and Cody and our designers are working on it.
These are going to be collector's items.
Yeah. Grab these while they're still around.
Yeah.
And the labels peel off so you can put them on your fridge.
I personally love a stout with the oysters, and we're going to bring up our Black Rocks stout, which we do have on the shelf, but we tweaked it a little bit last year.
Yeah.
Because you remember
we
Ralph? Beer one.
Right. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting
The
into
oysters.
I was going to say,
Oyster
ties
stout.
back to the oyster.
It does.
oyster
It does perfectly.
stout.
Perfectly.
Wow.
Excellent job. So Ralph Smith down at Mine Oyster got a chance to grab onto the Pemaquid Oyster Festival that used to happen in Damariscotta, and he brought it to Booth Bay this past year and had it down at Mine Oyster, and we brewed a beer specifically to support that, which was called Booth Bay Oyster Stout.
Booth Bay oyster, and
Oyster
it
stout.
had oysters in the brew.
We put the oysters
We did.
in what we did is we took a whole bunch of, I think we put a pound
Shells
of
and
oysters
and-
per barrel. So we had like 10 pounds of oysters into the kettle. We steeped them at the end of the boil and then brought them over into the whirlpool and gave them a little additional rinsing there to get some of those minerals and liquor out of them. And then, of course, we pulled them out and ate those. And then we went on to ferment the beer. So it
So
came out
good.
great.
We're doing that one again.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're doing that again. And you'll be
Yeah.
able to find that all summer, actually, at Mine Oyster.
September 29th.
Well, September 29th.
That's the
Oyster
festival.
festival.
That's the festival, which happens to be the same day as the
Oktoberfest, which we'll talk about
Yeah,
later.
there's gonna be a lot of beer action there. But,
Yeah.
Anyway, but he's gonna have it on all summer down
Yeah.
there at Mine Oyster, and he's added on there, so he's got a bigger area. And we'll maybe talk about that another day.
Cool.
That oyster stout was great too.
was.
They were still pouring it as late as the holiday season back in December, and Cody and I went over to Boathouse Bistro and did one of our Facebook Live videos over there, and I had a chance to taste it. It's delicious, and it does have a little bit, unlike a regular stout, it could be my imagination, but I get a little bit of a mineral finish from it. Not enough to make you wrinkle your nose up and go, "There's oysters in the beer." No, it's just a hint, just a little something to let you know that it's there, and it pairs great with these things. So
Yeah, it's a lot like Tuna Time. Tuna Time doesn't have tuna in it. It was just named after, and it has a story, craft beer story. It was brewed and packaged to support our tuna fishing industry, and a tournament that's happening here in the harbor every year, and we brewed that for that.
details forthcoming on that one as well as we head into the
That's right.
into the later summer months as well. Guys, this was awesome.
I was
great.
going to grab another oyster.
Oh, do
but
it.
I've got a couple more. One's a relish. I'm
Oh,
going to
your
do
mignonette recipes, yes. I heard something about chipotle.
chipotle for the people that like it a little spicy. You know, kind of like our sweet and sassy pizza, but it's a chipotle mignonette. So I'm excited about that. Has the red chipotle peppers in it, and a ginger lime relish.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to experiment a little bit with this. Still playing around with the recipe, but I think it'd be great for summer. You know,
Yeah.
a little heat, some citric acid, and just
Sounds
OJ and
Yeah.
lime juice. So we're still working on the recipes, but that's my
Come
idea.
try them out, because we'll have a bunch
Yeah.
of different ones you can try when you order your oysters. So,
Yeah.
one thing we will say is that RVers, if you're coming and staying with us and making a reservation online to book your RV site, there is an add-on that you can add on half a dozen oysters per ticket. You can buy as many tickets as you want, but you can at least secure your oysters for Thursday nights.
Yep.
Oysters with the
We're
owners.
doing it on Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursdays, and that'll be a day, and you'll be around doing your curated
Yep.
tours.
These will be in conjunction with the curated tastings that are going on Thursdays as well. So yeah, keep watching for details on that. Guys, this was awesome. Oysters with the owners. The first go around.
Yeah,
Recommend. Would do again.
would recommend.
Would
Awesome.
recommend.
All right, well, cheers to this.
All right.
Cheers.
And cheers to 633 and Tuna
Yeah.
Time and Oyster Scout and all the great things that beer brings us. Cheers, everybody.